Monday on the Mat. My name is Liza and we are participating this month in March Madness, a celebration of the original 34 Pilates classical exercises. So that being said, many of the exercises we'll be doing today are very challenging and require you to be pretty close to the cervical spine. So I caution you to take into consideration anything your medical professionals have advised with regard to exercise, and of course, listen to your body. I'm going to give you a lot of variations and modifications and show the true version to the best of my ability, maybe once or twice. So we'll go ahead and get started with some bridging. Our first exercise is going to be back support, and I want to show you some options so that you feel ready for it. If you decide to do the full variation, this will be a great warm-up, and if you decide that one of these versions is better for you, then you go ahead and make that choice. So we'll start with bridging. And bridging is a great exercise for many of the things that we might do in Pilates. We're going to do just a plain old hinge bridge, lifting the hips up and lowering the hips down, using an exhalation and having a sense that you're drawing your abdominal muscles in and up. Okay? For some of the rolling over exercises, an articulating bridge is ideal. So that is tailbone, glutes, sacrum, back of the waist, lower ribs, and come to rest on the shelf of the shoulder blades, breathing in and exhaling, reversing the sequence, shoulder blades, lower ribs, back of the waist, sacrum, glutes, and finally the tail. So the articulating bridge works well, and I'll remind you of that. Now you could hold your bridge up and just do a nice little march as an option for your back support. Or you could stretch one leg and lift and lower that leg even with the opposite knee, staying completely flat if that's a good choice for you. This could also be performed from here. And I'm just flexing and pointing the foot. There's actually a couple of little kicks and then release down. Kick, kick, and release down. So let's get to our actual back support. Option 2, be on your forearms as a way to grow into it. Shoulders glide away from the ears. Try not to be a turtle hiding in its shell. Go ahead and press through those forearms, open the collarbones wide, and then march those legs. Exhaling to draw the abdominal muscles in and down, and the legs up. Okay, so that's one option. You could do the leg position, switching after about 3 to 5. The true front support comes from the hands pressing through and lifting the pelvis. You could do it this way in this bent knee position. Marching. So I'm giving you lots of choices. Try things and then stick with the good challenge for you. Here's the real deal. Legs are completely straight. Body is elevated. We pulse, pulse, and lower the leg. 2 little sniffs as you pulse, pulse. One more time. Release. Okay, so that's back support. We're going to bring ourselves onto our knees now. I will remind you that there is a sideline version of side kick. So you can lie on your side with your body towards the back edge of the mat and the legs towards the front forward edge of the mat. I'll give you a quick demo. You can be all the way down, lifting the leg up, and we have press, press, and reach back. That's one way. The other way is to have the hand under the head, the other hand behind the head. This is your side-lying side kick. We're doing the kneeling version. Kneeling version is a little bit more challenging, so give it a whirl and then go back to the other if it's a better choice for you. We'll open the arms wide and extend one leg out to the side. Then we'll take a little cartwheel over Now you could just keep your hand up there, but let's think about our head real quick. We want to make sure that our head is part of our spine, so it's not hanging or craning up, so it should feel comfortable in the neck. Hand goes behind the head as an option. We'll take a few lifts and lowers just to test our balance, see how the wrist's feeling, and if all things are ready and willing, we'll take it right into the side kick with a flex, flex, and press back. Breathe in, and breathe out. One more time. And then right from here, I'm gonna have you tuck down. I've got my outside foot flat on the floor with my bottom leg just hugging up to the back of the heel. And this is how I teach it, but there are other ways. So my version is to bring the hand a little forward so the humeral head is in a comfortable place when you become weight bearing. And then we are going to start with letting the elbow drop down and finding a little side bend. Option 1. Option 2, coming on up to that knee. You may need to move your hand a little bit further out so that when you come up, it is under your shoulder. Add lifting off of that bottom knee as you feel ready to, and finally coming up to a full side bend, making a little arc, like a little rainbow, up and over, looking over the hand and coming down. Now that could be done from a full side plank, but I like it that way because it feels a little more secure. So let's come back to our kneeling side kick. Remember your side lying option. Let's take it out. Find the breath, cartwheel over, hand position, take a few lifts and lowers, make sure you're feeling like you know what to expect, and then bring it into flex and point. 2 little pulses, breathing and out, and again. Most of these very advanced exercises are not meant to be done for several repetitions. So 3 to 5 usually works. We're gonna come down, reach out, and go right into our side bend. So on the knee, you could go on the forearm if that's better for you. Slightly off the knee, full extension with the true side bend and the look over the hand. One more time. Let's breathe. And relax. Okay, so we're gonna do some rolling exercises. And the first one is the seal. This is one I do like to teach in class. My version is a little different. So we are going to bring our feet together, soles of the feet together, reach underneath your ankles and take a hold of those ankles. Scoop the belly, find your C curve. Your lower ribs are towards your pelvis, and then we'll lift the feet. Now for some, this is gonna be plenty. You can do the tap, tap, and hold. Traditional or classical Pilates is 3 taps. So we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We are going to roll back, roll up, 1, 2, 3. Now this is how I teach it. However, it is actually done with 3 taps on the back end and the front end. So you kind of have a moment of hesitation up there. So we go back, 1, 2, 3, and forward, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so take the version that works for you. Let's move on to the crab. Now, the crab is also one I like to teach with the hands grabbing the feet and holding here. I teach it by having you roll back, roll up, and switch legs. This is where I put it. However, it's normally done with the switch at the back and then come up over the top of the legs, dive your head down and take a little stretch of the neck, rock back, switch, rock up, slowly come up and over. And that is the classical crab. Again, take what you need, leave what you don't. So this next exercise is called rocking, and this one is just a struggle for me. So I'll demo to the best of my ability. I'm going to reach back, take hold of my feet, Try to roll my shoulders back, elevate here, and then this movement is rocking forward and back while you're in this position. So I don't have much of a range of motion, and ideally we would grab the ankles. I can grab my forefoot, not my ankles. So if that's you too, a really nice version is an exercise we know well, which is swan dive. I'm going to scoot a little forward. So we press up as high as you comfortably can. Rock down, lift the legs. Rock down, lift the legs. Okay? One more time. So that's your swan dive or rocking. Now what I don't love about the normal way we put this together is the back and forthness of it. When I'm teaching my classes, I always try to fluidly move from one thing to the next. And there's a lot of turning over and changing positions in the more classical way of teaching. So bear with me. We are going to go into controlled support. And this one is one, you'll hear my voice slightly change because I am really tucked and I can still breathe, but you can tell that it is a pretty solid challenge. So we're going to come all the way up and back, and we try to drop those feet back. Okay? Then from there, we're going to take one foot up as high as we can, bring it back, other foot. Now the idea here is that you would be holding those ankles and you let one go while the leg goes up and then the other. And this is where I would put your scissors instead. So lying all the way down or bringing the head up. Okay? Last but not least, we have a Pilates push-up. So again, we're flipping over. What I'd like to do is have you just practice hands pretty much under the shoulders, elbows lightly squeezing or hugging into the rib cage. This is the position for a Pilates push-up, which is a tricep push-up. So we're going to press up and keep the thighs on the floor, and you just press up as much as you can. Your belly's pulling in so your back is happy, and some of you might go to a full cobra type pose, but this is a version that many people can do, keeping the legs down. If you're up for it, we'll start from a full plank position, hug those elbows in, get as low as you can, keeping your form. So we don't want to let other things happen. Go only as deep as you can with good form, and I cannot emphasize that enough. You do not need to get your nose to the floor. Ultimately, we want to get all the way down to the mat, but not at the risk of doing funky things. So if you find yourself going really good and then your head dives down or your back sags or something's going on there, just take it where you can take it. Let's bring the toes together, reach the arms forward, and just take a quick stretch. Good, and come all the way up and rest here. And while we're resting here, I'll just review very quickly with you. We started with back support and lots of options for back support. We then went into kneeling side kick and side bend. And then we went into the crab and the seal. And then we went into rocking. And then we did controlled balance. And then we did our push-up. And I totally forgot jackknife. So we're gonna throw jackknife in. It's pretty crazy. So check it out. I am crossing one leg over the other, sitting tall, okay? I'm going to scoot back, try to lift my legs as soon as I can, come all the way over, switch quickly, roll down with control as soon as possible. I bring my arms back, and I'm in almost a teaser position. I dive forward as much as I can, take my arms out, and hug down into this nice big stretch for the back. Coming all the way back up to repeat. Taking a big breath in, and this is where you would do that articulating bridge. Exhale. all the way over, big switch, articulate down. As soon as you can, grab those hands. You're in a little bit of a teaser position for a moment. Take it all the way around, find that stretch, and come back up, okay? So a couple ways to manage this. You could, of course, do that articulating bridge, or you could come to this point, switch the legs, and try your best to do a variation on the arms. If this doesn't work for you, your shoulders just won't do this, you can just reach your arms back, open the chest, and then dive forward that way. So there's that jackknife. I don't know why I forgot that, but that is this week's selection of classical mat Pilates in celebration of our March Madness, and we'll see you again next week.